Hi, this is Peggy at Headshots by Peggy, and today on the Headshot, we are talking about what is a look. So as you know, your headshot is the biggest part of your marketing strategy. Well, if you don't have effective headshots, you don't have effective marketing. Bottom line, there's no way getting around it. So when you're out looking for a headshot photographer, a lot of times you're going to see them advertise 2 looks, 1 look, 5 looks. What does that mean exactly? Well, good news, bad news. Bad news is I can't tell you. The reason I can't tell you is because every single photographer has their own definition what a look is. For some photographers, it's an outfit change. For some photographers, it's a time frame. For some photographers, it is the casting type. So it really varies from photographer to photographer. There is no right answer. There is no wrong answer. It's simply how the photographer calculates how they're going to charge you for what they give you. So it's very important that you ask questions and find out what a look means to the photographer that you're talking to. So I can't tell you, what everybody's look is, because I've seen photographers advertise, 2 outfit changes, 2 looks. I've seen photographers advertise 2 looks, 1 retouch. I mean, there's just every combination you can imagine, And a lot of this is because industry standards and industry trends change as far as headshots go. So, if you set up your prices and your packaging, and then as time goes by, years go by, that changes. You're not going to necessarily change your price, so it gets confusing at where everything is. So when you're looking for a photographer, just ask. Say, I see you're advertising a 2-look package. What does that mean? What do I get for a 2-look package? And they'll tell you how many retouches you get and so forth. But then say, what does a look mean to you? Is it an outfit change? Is it, really ask those questions. So that's on you, sorry. But what I want to do is tell you what Headshots by Peggy a look is. And by me explaining how I do my looks, it will probably make your mind go, oh, okay, I should ask that, So let me just talk about how I do headshots, what I consider a look, and why I consider that a look. So first of all, I think that a look is not an outfit change, but I think a look is a casting type. So in other words, what is a casting type? And believe me, my clients, I have tons of clients that's something they struggle with. Like, what should I be cast like? What should I look like, or whatever? What roles would I be a fit for? Well, this is something you should know before you have your headshot session. For me, when somebody books an appointment with me, I email them a whole bunch of stuff. I email them, hey, this is what I recommend to make your headshots go as smoothly and as effectively as possible. But I also email them a questionnaire. And I really believe that you should fill out a questionnaire and, get your brain thinking of what you want. And that questionnaire says, let me go grab one. So the questionnaire asks, what type of an actor are you? Do you do television? Do you do musicals? Do you do theater? Do you do commercials? And there's a reason that I ask that. I ask that because it gives me an idea what kind of headshots you're going to want. Because if you're a commercial actor, you're not going to want theatrical headshots unless that's what you're moving into. But if you're a theatrical actor and you don't do commercials, then clearly you're going to not need that. If you do stage acting, you're going to want, a different type of headshot. So I do that so from the get-go I understand what the headshots are being used for, so that I can talk to you and we can figure out what we want. And then I have like a list of character types, like politician, lawyer, doctor, soccer moms, college student, hard edge. I have a big list of them. And I say circle all the characters that you feel like you would be a fit for. Now, if you've gone to an acting school, a good acting school or a good acting class, at some point they've probably had you stand up in front of people that you don't know very well, and they say, okay, write on a piece of paper, what do you see this person as? And so, if you get a whole bunch of responses saying, I can see them as, a waitress or whatever it is, then you can say, oh, okay, then that might be a role that I'm just naturally, a fit, for. Clearly, people have range. People can do more than one thing. Most actors can do more than one thing, and that's fine. But you should be aware of what your casting type is before you go into the headshot. Now, this is my big pet peeve. I'm on social media just like all of you, and I see this over and over and over. I see people that, hey, just got new headshots. What role do you think I'm a fit for? And it just literally makes me want to scream, because they have paid a photographer probably a good investment. Like, headshots are an investment. They're not cheap, and they shouldn't be. They should, this is the biggest part of your marketing strategy. This is, you use these every day. This is ultimately what's going to get you in the door for that audition. So they've invested in headshots, and they don't know what role they're a fit for. So, I don't know. In my head, I'm like, what was that headshot session like? They just took pretty pictures. It's like throwing spaghetti at the wall. Like, okay, let's try this, let's try this, let's try this, and hope that one of those, match your casting type that you want to submit for. So to me, that's a waste of everyone's time and money. So I want to be specific, because I want to get you effective headshots. I love doing artsy stuff. I love doing fun stuff. I love doing, crazy things. But bottom line, you need effective headshots that are going to get you in the door. And that's my job, is to get those headshots to you. And it's a team. Like, we have to communicate. So, I've had people fill these out, and after that it says, okay, how many looks are we doing today, and what looks are we going to accomplish? So out of all these things that you circled, what are we doing today? That's what I want to know. I want you to get your brain thinking, and then I want you to narrow it down. What is our goal for today? Now, I have had, in fact, I'm going to read it to you. Okay, she says we're doing 2 looks today, and she says, I'd like to play a variety of roles. So something versatile. That was great maybe 5-10 years ago, because industry trends at that time, you had a great theatrical headshot and you had a great commercial headshot. And that's really all you needed, But that's not how the industry's working right now. And you need to stay up to date. This is your marketing strategy. I know I say it all the time. I'm going to keep saying it all the time. Because as an actor, you're self-employed. As an actor, you are the one that's responsible for marketing yourself. Great, you have an agent. That's awesome. Great, you have a manager. That's awesome. Great, you have a publicist. That's really cool. But ultimately, bottom line, it's up to you to make sure it happens, because if something doesn't happen, it's not anybody else's responsibility but yours. So you need to know all these things. You need to know what types you are and go in with that mission. Like, okay, this is what we're going to accomplish today. And be realistic. I have clients come in all the time that say, I had a client, and I kind of told this story on last week's vlog. I had a client that came in, and young guy, and super handsome, like, pretty. Like, he was just, like that. He had golden curly hair, big blue eyes, and a smile that literally lit up the room. You just wanted to hang out with him when you saw him. He was just that guy. I mean, super marketable, super cool. And when I read his questionnaire, he's like, the roles that he wanted to accomplish was, street thug and like villain and like all these dark things. And maybe he could pull it off. Maybe he could get a reel that shows him in that could pull that off. But when you first look at this guy, that's not what you're thinking. You're thinking surfer dude. You're thinking friend. You're thinking, just not thug. So I tried to explain to him, like, there's a lot of things that, people want to do, but you have to be realistic. Know what you look like. Know your hair type. Know your body type. Know your skin color. Watch TV and see what do people that look like me play. What's my body type? What's my, demeanor, I get Midwest girl a lot. People like, oh, you're from the Midwest. I'm not an actor, but people pin that immediately. And they're right. So yes, I could probably play that. But you know what I mean? There's a certain look. There's a certain look to, to you that you have that people pin immediately. So build on that. Build on that. Don't try to be something that you're not. And sometimes there's roles, there's casting types that you're like, man, I would be perfect for. I've got the attitude, I've got everything, but your appearance isn't there yet. So sometimes you have to grow into it. Like if you're 20 and you want to be a badass attorney, that's going to be tough if you look 16 to 20 to pull off that. You know what I mean? Some of these things you may have to wait and age into. And that's okay. There are tons of things that you are a fit for today. You'll get the experience and then you'll get that chance to play that role that you've always wanted to play. But keep those in mind. To me, that's what a look is, okay? A look is a character type. Now, if you come into my studio with, let's say you booked a 2 look session, and you come into my studio and you brought 2 changes of clothes, I'm going to be like, what? Why? Because, sometimes it takes 3 or 4 changes of clothes before we like, oh, that's it. That's it right there. Because, a headshot isn't just your expression. I wish it was. It's got a lot to do with it, but it's your expression, all those little macro, little tiny expressions in combination with your clothes, in combination with the background, in combination with everything, coloring, lighting, everything has to give that energy of whatever it is that you're trying to portray. So if you want, whatever, in my studio, I have this really cool, 10 thingy that I use for a background. And, it looks really cool. It looks industrial. There we go. That's the word. So, something that's outdoorsy or more, working class or something that works with that. All the colors and the textures and all that plays in together. And so you have to think about all those things. And so if you just come with 1 outfit or 2 outfits, it's like, oh, man. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of you can just do that. Some of you are that strong in front of the camera that you could wear 1 outfit and pull off 5 looks. But the majority of us cannot do that. So to me, a look is not an outfit change. To me, a look is a casting type. What role are you? What role are we portraying? Are we doing attorney? Are we doing badass attorney, or are we doing goofy, ambulance chaser, crazy guy? Like, there's such a big range on everything. So, it's recommended right now. I think I've heard this several times. It's good to have anywhere between 5 to 7 different theatrical headshots. So different looks on your casting profiles. We're looking at 5 to 7 in theatrical. Now, in commercial, if you're also doing commercial acting, commercial, you might even want more than that. And here's the reason. In a theatrical situation, they've got 15 minutes, they've got 20 minutes, they've got half hour, they've got an hour, they've got 2 hours to develop who you are. In a commercial, they've got 15 seconds to say, boom, she's the goofy waitress, or boom, she's the badass attorney, or boom, he's the doctor, you know? So in commercials, you almost want more detailed, more, you know, in theatrically can be a little bit more broad and give that, you know, professional look. You give this look, give that, but in commercial, you want even more specific headshots because, again, you're going for a specific type. So anyway, that's my long description of what a look is. And again, I know I didn't help you out if you're looking at, you know, photographers and it says, you know, a look. My only suggestion is ask. Ask tons of questions. Always ask questions. I am a big question asker. If you don't know the answer to something, you will never know unless you ask. So please ask. But I hope you understand a little bit about type, a little bit about looks, a little bit about how to, you know, kind of find that, because once you find your look and you get those amazing effective headshots that show that role, then you get some reel in there that shows that role. So you've got that badass attorney headshot, you've got badass attorney on your reel. So, I mean, you're like, boom, boom, that casting director's like, oh, you know what? I think this person can play a badass attorney. So, you know, that's how it works. You've just got to continue to work on that and get your casting profile, you know, up to date, get great headshots out there and market yourself. You know, not all, when you're doing a headshot session, not all of the headshots are maybe going to be used for your casting profile. Maybe one or two of them you're going to use for social media, because that's still part of promoting yourself and marketing yourself. You have to use every single angle that you can. Maybe you want to make a cool postcard up. Maybe you want to, you know, whatever it is that you feel will effectively market you. So get amazing headshots with intention. Do not come without intention. Don't come and say, I want a smiley one and I want a serious one. That's not a look. That was a look 5 years ago. It's 2019. You have to stay current. You have to know what the trends are and market yourself accordingly. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. Share it with every single person that you know. Like, just share the heck out of this. Leave me tons of comments. Most importantly, have an amazing week. I'll see you next week.